What's going on, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Bears News Network. I'm your host, Mike Anderson, alongside with my co-host, DeAndre Cootie Hicks, where we try to bring you guys the latest Chicago Bears news and rumor. Also, we have a new trivia question that's coming out. Matter of fact, we just gonna go ahead and give it to you guys right now. The trivia question for this upcoming week, please like, comment, and subscribe, is out of the 1985 Chicago Bears, out of those players on the roster, there were 5 players to go on and win another Super Bowl, whether as a player or a coach. Who were the 5? The first 2 people to give me the first 5 answers will win a Walter Payton Chicago Bears 1985 replica championship ring. So, that's the question. We're going to give it out one more time. Out of the 1985 Chicago Bears Super Bowl team, there were 5 players who went on to win another Super Bowl, whether as a player or as a coach. Who were the 5? The first 2 people to give me the correct answer, you will be this week's winner, and we will announce it on the next episode, and you guys will have Walter Payton replica 1985 Chicago Bears championship ring. And it come nicely beautiful in the little case and everything for you guys. It's really a nice little Bears memorabilia gift for, you guys, if you are a huge Bears fan. So look, man, and it's gonna happen. We got one for you, Cootie, so we good. So that's the question for this week's episode. Please comment right up underneath this video. Let us know you guys' answers. We want to choose you guys winners, so most definitely let us know. Oh, today's episode, we're going to get into a couple of things. First thing we're going to give a shout out to just a couple of rookies that we felt like really impressed us this year. And we're just going to go over to our favorite rookies who we felt like really made an impact on the Chicago Bears team this year. Also, we're going to get into possible free agent target running backs that we could get into if we're not able to sign David Montgomery to a long-term deal. And also, we're going to break down a certain position on offense and a certain position on defense that we could possibly make better on this team, either via trade or via free agency. So let's get right into it. First off, we want to spend a special shout out to the rookies, man. These rookies in particular, Braxton Jones, Jaquan Brisker, and Jack Sanborn, they all made had a very impactful year and made very impactful plays. And just give them a personal shout out. They made Pro Football Focus all rookie team. Also a personal shout out to Braxton Jones as well. He was made the number 1 player out of the Pro Football Impacts list, and also Sports Nation Codes list. My boy Braxton Jones is number 1. He's number 1, one of the best offensive rookie tackles in the game. So, man, great pick by Ryan Poles in the 5th round. Right there with Braxton Jones, we have something special with him, most definitely. And just a personal shout out to those 3 guys, man, who really showed that, they could get it done as rookies, and just really excited to see how their careers pan out as Chicago Bears. Any of those that you like are off that list, man, that's your favorite?
Oh yeah, I think I might like a fan favorite, Jack Sanborn. That kid is just he's been amazing since he came in, and then for him to have made that all rookie team and not even playing the whole season, he came in undrafted free agent, and like I said, he didn't get to play until Roquan was traded. So the little time he had, he made a big impact, and he's somebody who I always like just from seeing his style of play when he first started. Like we talked about it before, but he's just a young go-getter. He's hungry. He's hungry, and he plays that way.
Yeah, most definitely. And to be an undrafted, rookie and have an opportunity and show up big in the opportunities when he had them, it was just incredible, man. And he's living the Chicago kid dream of man to come on as an undrafted free agent and earn your way as a starter on your childhood hometown team that watch your hometown team that you watch growing up, for you to now to be in a position to be a starter for that team, that's just something incredible. So man,
Yeah,
most
nah, every
definitely,
kid straight from the city.
yeah, most definitely. Shout out to Jack Sanborn, man. Personal shout out to him as well, man. All those rookies, they had a good year, and just wanted to show them some love over here at Bears News Network. Okay, next topic of discussion, we're going to get into possible free agents that we could possibly sign if we're not able to come to a long term deal with David Montgomery. As we know, Ryan Poles said that he likes the player that David Montgomery is. He likes the work ethic. He would love to see him back as a Chicago Bear. But as Bears fans, we heard this story before with Roquan Smith, and we've seen how that turned out. So we have to see if we're not able to come to an agreement with David Montgomery. Just a possible couple free agents that's just out there on the market, just to name a few. You got Saquon Barkley, Josh Jacobs, you got Kareem Hunt, Rashad Penny, you have Jamal Williams, and Tony Pollard, just to name a few of them. Now, out of those names, Cootie, if we're not able to re-sign David Montgomery, who out of those names that stuck out to you the most that you would like to see as a Bear if we're not able to get back David Montgomery?
Oh man, it's hard to say who really stick out the most because all those names, pop out to you if you've seen, how they play or how we do. If you looked at their stats, man, it's all amazing. But the one guy the most that I think I would like to see would be Josh Jacobs. He's a guy who surprised me this year, but he's never been a bad running back and stuff. He just proved his worth, proved himself this season. Leading the league in rushing and just when I look at his numbers and David Montgomery numbers, it's like his stat doubled over David Montgomery's. Like his yards, for instance, David Montgomery had 801, and Jacobs had 1,653. And if you look at the touchdowns, David Montgomery had 5, and Jacobs had 12. So it's just that doubling of those, like those two stats right there, making you look at Josh Jacobs as somebody like, it probably it won't be exactly that double production, but he'll give us more, at that position.
Yeah, yeah, most definitely. Josh Jacobs is most definitely a game changer. Like you said, he led the league in rushing with that 1653. Also with that 12 touchdowns and almost 5 yards per carry at 4.9. And so Josh Jacobs most definitely a game changer, somebody who could come in and be very productive, that possibly can take some of the load off Justin Fields, because we know how effective of a runner and good of a runner he is. Justin doesn't have to run as much, with
Yeah,
Josh Jacobs, back there. And that would be a nice little tandem to see. I'm not going to lie, man. Josh Jacobs, Justin Fields, and Khalil Herbert. That's a nice little three-headed monster right there. That's beast mode,
right.
right?
You can't forget Herbert.
Okay, since you went with Josh Jacobs, because that was my number one choice, then I'll just go with Saquon Barkley, man. When you look at Saquon, I feel like this was a resurgence year for him. I feel like he could be a comeback player of the year candidate, strong, and could win. Um, just when you look at him, out of 295 attempts, he finished the year with 1,312 rushing yards, and he had 10 touchdowns, and he had an average of 4.4 per carry. And when I look at him, I just look at and seeing what he did with that offense in New York, and seeing what him and Daniel Jones did. Uh, it was just really, I was really impressed by the way he bounced back, and how he really showed a lot of fight and grit, and stayed healthy this year and produced. So with
Right. Okay.
him, I wouldn't mind seeing him, and also he's a target, that a weapon that can, Justin can pass to out of the backfield when Justin is scrambling, trying to find somebody open. You can rely on Saquon, to catch that ball out of the backfield and be more elusive and effective than David Montgomery would be. So just a couple of names right there, man. Also, here go another name too on that list that I don't know if a lot of people thought about it. This depending on his injury. What about Tony Pollard? I like Tony Pollard, man. When you
Yeah.
look at Tony Pollard, he only had 193 attempts on the year, but he still finished out of that 193 attempts. He still finished on the year with 1,007 yards on the year. He had 9 touchdowns, and then his average yards per carry is 5.2. That's what's really sticking out to me. With only 193 attempts, he still managed to have over 1,000 yards and 9 touchdowns, and was still able to average 5.2 yards per carry. And that's very impressive to me, because when you look at that, when you got a running back that can average over 5 yards per carry, that means you're no longer putting yourself in third and long situations. Now you're in more manageable third and four, third and three, third and two. The most you'll be in is, third and five in certain situations. But when you have a running back like that who can average that many yards, per carry, that's just very impressive. Now you're no longer putting yourself in third and seven, third and six, and third and eight. Now you're putting yourself in more manageable positions to convert on third downs. And when you put yourself in a situation now, when you go from being in the third and seven to a third and four or third and three, come on, man. We know what Justin can do with his legs on a third and three. He can get 3 yards.
Yeah.
Them chains moving. So I just like what Tony Pollard also brings. But depending on his injury and how his injury is going, that plays another factor in his money as well to him on the market. They want to know how serious the injury is, how long it's going to take for him to be out. Will he be back by the start of the training camp? Will he be back by the start of the season? So that's just a lot of questions that needs to be answered as far as Tony Pollard with dealing with his injury. But don't get me wrong, Tony Pollard is a heck of a player, and it's still a market for him out there on the running back market. Okay.
Yeah. One thing I want to say about Tony Pollard is, like you said, it's interesting with him, but it's like they kind of said with that Dallas and 49ers playoff game. He got injured in that game, but like you talk about game changers, he was the piece that they were saying could have, turned it the other way for Dallas. So that's a big thing to say when he was the number 2 receiver behind Zeke. So, that's just, it's interesting that you brought him up, but yeah, he is that impact player.
Yeah, most definitely, most definitely. He most definitely is somebody who can come in and contribute with healthy, and he's most definitely elusive. You seen what he did to us last season.
Yeah.
Sonny Pollard, he's a beast. It's just another name to watch out for. Now, we would like to know who you guys would like to see if we're not able to re-sign David Montgomery. Just out of the names that we had mentioned, if it's a name that we didn't fail to mention, that you guys think that we could possibly re-sign on the running back market if we're not able to come to grips with a deal with David Montgomery. And if it is a name that we did mention, type it right up under here, right underneath this video. If it's my choice, Saquon Barkley, type SB. If it's Josh Jacobs, Cootie choice, type JJ. And if it's Tony Pollard, type TP, or any other of the names that we had mentioned, type the initials right underneath this video. We want to hear from you guys and what you guys think about it. Okay. Last topic we're going to get into is possible free agent targets and trade targets on the offense and defensive side of the ball. So let's get right into it, man. I'm gonna start first. So when we look at this roster, we know that there's a lot of holes that needs to be filled on the offense and the defensive side of the ball. So with that being said, I'm gonna just hop right into it and get into my trade target or possible wide receiver. We look at the wide receiver room, we know that the only two reliable receivers that we have at the moment are Darnell Mooney and Chase Claypool. Other than that,
Man, you show Pettis no love.
you steady on this man, Petty.
I want him to do great, but I hear you. I hear you.
What I'm saying, that's actually legit receivers who we know that's going to produce. Produce at a second tier level receiver at least. And we can say Darnell Mooney and Chase Claypool are number twos. So we're looking for that number one receiver out there. And when you look at the market, the wide receiver market for free agency is not that. It's not really no big names. Big names that would have been up already had re-signed, which was Debo Samuel and DK Metcalf and Scary Terry. They all signed their deals just before this year. They would have been free agents as well. But now since they are sold up, we're left with not so high market wide receivers that's still out there. Still some that can produce and get the job done, but not the top tier names that you hear throughout the league. But with that being said, if we had to trade, and here are a couple of players that you have 1 year left on their deal, and I know you guys probably heard about it, or if you guys haven't, what about Brandon Ayuk from the San Francisco 49ers? He's the wide receiver. And when you look at him on your Brandon Ayuk, he had 112 targets. He had 78 receptions. He finished the year with 1,015 receiving yards and 8 touchdowns. Also, PFF grade has him at an 80.3. So I really like what Brandon Ayuk does. He's one of those players that can win his one-on-one battles and create separation. He also can go up and get the ball in 50-50 situation. And he also is a player that can make you miss in the open field and take it to the house. And that's somebody that most definitely can contribute to our offensive receiver room and most definitely be that number one option because without question, if they didn't have Debo Samuel in San Francisco, everybody would be screaming Brandon Ayuk is that number one option. So Brandon Ayuk, he is one of my trade targets. I want you guys to look out for him. Somebody possibly that Ryan Post can target. And I know you guys been hearing a lot of rumors about this name, T. Higgins as well. T. Higgins, I like T. Higgins. When you look at T. Higgins on the year, he had 104 targets. He had 74 receptions. He had 1,029 receiving yards, and then he finished the year with 7 TDs. PFF got him at a 77.1, but I really, really like T. Higgins. He's just that big body receiver, someone when Justin needs someone to bail him out in certain situations. T. Higgins is that guy that can bail him out in those third and long situations. Um, T. Higgins is that, like I said, he's that guy who 3rd and 6 or 3rd and 7, quick slant. He's that big guy who's going to go up and get that pass. He's going to win those 50-50 catches passes as well. And that's what we need. We need guys who's going to help Justin develop and ease the pressure off of him into this year of him trying to grow into a passing quarterback. We need receivers that can take the pressure off of him as much as possible. We've seen how much of importance it was with Kyler Murray trading for DeAndre Hopkins, with the situation as far as with Jalen Hurts right there with the Eagles. How much of him training for AJ Brown and him, having Devontae Smith, and how much of those receivers play a huge difference. Having those number one receivers plays a huge difference in these young quarterbacks and trying to help them develop and become passing quarterbacks. So T. Higgins is also a name, man, with Cincinnati got holes coming up that needs to be filled as well, and a lot of contracts that they have to renegotiate and stuff. He could possibly be a trade candidate. Now, I'm gonna get into my one free agent target, and the reason why, like I said, the free agent market is not that busy right now. It doesn't have a lot of big names, and if you're not able to trade for a number one, then you have to go to something that you feel is safe and reliable and still can get the job done. And when I think about players like that, who other on this free agent list would be better for the Bears than Alan Lazard, man, from the Green Bay Packers. And the reason why I say Alan Lazard, when you just look at Alan Lazard, man, and what he did, he's still young. He'll be 27 years old. He's a Green Bay Packer. He's a wide receiver for them. And how about we stick it to them Packers, man? Stick it to them Packers. That'd be love right there. And not only that, when you look at him on the year, he had 60 receptions, 788 receiving yards. He did finish the year with 6 touchdowns, and then he has an average of 13.1 yards per reception. But he did deal with injury, so his numbers probably would have been up. But he's no doubt Green Bay's number one receiver. And not only that, with Luke Getsy coming from Green Bay and now being our offensive coordinator, he would be a safe option to me as far as someone who know that he can produce, and also he knows the playbook, and the chemistry and continuity wouldn't be long for them to get going, because he comes in, he's familiar, he's a familiar face with Luke Getsy. Also, him coming from Green Bay, he knows the system, he knows how Luke Getsy wants the offense to be ran, so it's not like he needs to get acclimated. It's just now, hey, plug and play and let's go. It shouldn't take him long if he was to get picked up with him already coming in and knowing the offense. We just would need to see how the chemistry between him and Justin would be. But Alan Lazard, man, I really like him. I think he's the safe choice to pick in free agency if we're not able to go out and get that trade for that number one receiver. I would like to see Alan Lazard. Now, if we was to still sign Alan Lazard, I would like to see us go draft a receiver in the second or third round, just to add a little bit more depth to that wide receiver room. With that being said, but Alan Lazard, he's most definitely somebody to look out for, just because the familiarity with Luke Getsy and him probably already knowing the playbook. So there's my 3 options, man. Now let me know, who would you like to see in a trade between my trade targets? Would you like to see T. Higgins or Brandon Ayuk as a trade target for the Bears this year? Who would you like to see? I would like to know, out of the trade target candidates, who would you like to see? If you like to see T. Higgins, type TH. And if you like to see Brandon Ayuk, type BA right underneath the video. Also, man, this video is brought to you by Riverside. If you'd like to do some broadcasting, or you ever wanted to broadcast with your friends and kind of do some kind of social networking or anything, man, choose Riverside, one of the best platforms to record their videos. Brought to you by Riverside. Riverside is on your side. Thank you, guys. So, back to the show. Cootie, what about the defensive option, man? Do you got any defensive options that you see out there on the linebacker market, man, for us? Because I know the linebacker mark is man, it's really messing with us right now, man. We're not good, other than Jack Sanborn at that position, along with the defensive line. But who you got for us, man? Let me hear what you got.
Oh, yeah, so like you said, man, the defense is, well, along with the offense, something that we got to work on. I'm gonna just give you a few things about our defense. I'm not gonna, go into it too much every time, but I just want to say it this time. We were last in the league in a few things, man. It wasn't good for us. Sacks, we only had 20, and we allowed so many points, man, 437. So, man, we need work in that defense. And like you say, I'm talking about the linebackers. That's our interior, where we definitely, holds it down our core. So, with the linebackers, like you say, even in that market, there's not too much going on, but there are good candidates out there, people that, I think improve our game on that side of the ball. So I'm going to talk about my trade player first. He's a guy out of Tampa Bay. He's young. He's 24. Devin White. So in the season, Devin White had 124 tackles, 5.5 sacks, 2 forced fumbles, 3 fumbles returned, and then his solo tackles were 73. So I see him being, a young guy we can put in there. He can get better and produce more. He'll be great next to Jack Sanborn. Young talent that was both tenacious and go getters there after that ball. And I don't think we'll have to go crazy to trade for this guy. I'm looking at something like a second or third round pick, and then to make it a little more enticing. Maybe get a receiver or something, a tight end. Something that they would need when we know what's going on, just with what looks like maybe a rebuild with them or something. So I feel like it's a trade we can make happen somewhere or the other to get Devin White.
Man, yeah, and man, Devin White, him and Jack Sanborn.
Oh
Ugh,
yeah.
nasty. I'm talking about what? That's a nice little linebacker 1-2 punch right there. Jack Sanborn still being young and hungry. You could tell Jack Sanborn is young and hungry and still want to learn and get better. Devin White, man, we know what he brings to the table. So that's most definitely, you talking about bullets and man, talking about flying all over the field with them.
Yeah,
It's
coming
like,
from each direction.
that would be incredible. So I most definitely like the pick, man. I most definitely like your first pick right there.
Hey, like I said, that was my trade candidate. I got two free agent candidates. I wanted to. Well, I ain't going to talk about too much on them because we know who these guys are. We know how they get down. But one guy, I'm not gonna say it's far fetched because you just never know what goes on in the league today. But so my first guy is Tremaine Edmonds, 24 out of Buffalo. And this guy, a lot of people may know him because he's on that Buffalo defense. That's always been contending for AFC title and stuff. So just a few things on his season. He had 102 tackles, 66 solo, one sack, one interception, and 3 QB hits. And he's a guy like I said about a lot of them. They're tenacious. He gets back and forth around the field. He like they used to say back in the day, body's flying. He gets everywhere. You just see him going across that field and getting to the ball. And then my last guy, he's an older guy, but I think he can be what we wanted Nicholas Morrow to be. But Levante David out of Tampa Bay, he's 33. Like I said, he's a little older guy, but he'll be that veteran presence that we need on the field. Because he actually had a pretty good season. Tackles 124, solo 80, sacks 3, forced fumbles 1, fumble return 1. So he's still very productive at the age of 33. And I'll say he could be that veteran presence that we're looking for in that the core of the defense.
Yeah, like you said, he can be our Danny Trevathan. Um, you know,
Yeah.
still a tackling machine. You just heard his tackles. Like he's still a tackling machine, so he's still gonna run and get to the ball. But like if he can be our Danny Trevathan, and when we brought Danny Trevathan over here back on that defense, and when we put all them boys together, that would be nice. If he could be that, like you said, we thought Nicholas Morrow could be that, but we see Jack Sanborn beat him out of a spot, so we see Nicholas Morrow as the asset.
Man.
Man, so I like those. I like those options, man. Those some good options. I wouldn't mind seeing that boy Levante David though. I wouldn't mind seeing him, man. That's a nice little pick. Now, we want to know who would you like to see at that linebacker spot, man. Also Tremaine Edmonds as well. He's a dog, man, with the Buffalo Bills too. Now,
Yeah, that'll be a tricky one, but man, we can make it work with what we got going
hey,
in this off season.
most definitely can. Let us know right under the video who would you like to see to help out our man Jack Sanborn in this linebacker room, man. Trying to get this revamped and get it together. What linebackers out there that's under trade target 1-year deals that we could possibly get, or free agents that we didn't even mention that you guys think that would fit well in this scheme and Matt Eberflus scheme alongside Jack Sanborn? Let us know. Comment the name right underneath the video, man. We appreciate it. Okay, so couple of things. One more little thing I wanted to get into, man. Just a little interesting fact. Like everybody was talking about how we should trade the pick and do this with the pick and trade Justin. Well, not even trade the pick, but trade Justin for the pick. Man, Justin Fields is not going nowhere, man. And I don't know if you guys know, but this dude, Justin Fields, has the top selling NFL jerseys from lids in 3 states. He sold more jerseys than Aaron Rodgers in the state of Wisconsin in 2022. Do you hear me? This man has sold the most jerseys in Illinois, Wisconsin, and Indiana. This man, Justin Fields, we love you, bro. You doing your thing, man. We
You
got.
know, those outsiders talking.
Yeah, the outsiders was talking, saying how we should get rid of him and go get somebody else. Nah. And another thing, the Chase Claypool trade. Do you feel like it's gonna pay off for us?
Oh yeah, it definitely should. It definitely should. And then one thing you talked about, if we were able to get Juju or something, if that was a rivalry we were able to bring in, that just betters his case. Now he got somebody who he already works with in tandem. Like we see what they did at Pittsburgh and stuff. It just like you say, it's building that chemistry, getting his play time and having someone that he can lean back on, we threw him in with Darnell Mooney, and that both are, Darnell Mooney still trying to find his way. Clay Chaseful just getting here, he got to find his way. So it just like, he wasn't put in the best of positions when he got here. And that's all it is. Like next year,
Yeah.
gonna have a better Justin Field. We hopefully, like I say, with all this talk, money we got going around, wide receiver room will be better. And, he'll be able to flourish.
Yeah. And the Bears currently have $98.6 million in cap space. It would have been a little bit over 100 mil, but with the new league recommendations and mandates of the new cap space releasing, they're a little bit under 100. They're at 98.6, but that could change depending on roster moves that they make. It could go up or so. But for right now, they're at 98.6 million. And also we have the golden ticket, the number 1 overall
Right.
draft pick, man. That's what we have too. So it's just a lot of things to try to get excited for this season. I feel like the Chase Claypool situation, I feel like it would pan out. I feel like him and Justin is going to get on the same page. Like when I said, when people, they wanted Chase Claypool to come in and make instant instant plays, but like you said, he has to get acclimated to the playbook. He's still learning the playbook. It's like riding a bike all over again, trying to get acclimated to another playbook, and it was something that he wasn't familiar with. It's not like he's been moved a lot of times. This was his first other team than being with the Steelers. So it was just a new city, new atmosphere, new everything with a lot of expectations put on him in a big city and in such a short period of time. And I feel like we shouldn't have did that to him. We should give him a full offseason to build chemistry and learn the playbook with Justin. And then we should grade him off this upcoming season, how he does. But Lugessi did make an interesting comment. Because they did ask him, how did you, feel about like Chase Claypool and, do you feel like the trade was worth it? And he said, I see Chase Claypool getting a lot of opportunities in 2023. So Lugessi got something in store for him, to get him more involved in the offense and get him more touches. So there's nothing to worry about Chicago. We're going to be okay with Chase Claypool. We're going to be okay with Justin Fields. We just got to, let Ryan Poles just do his magic, man. Just let him do his magic and get somebody to trade this golden ticket for a whole bunch of golden tickets.
Right.
So we want to thank you guys once again for tuning in with us, man, over here at Bears News Network. Also, we're going to repeat the trivia question, man. This week's trivia question is, out of the 1985 Super Bowl Chicago Bears, there was 5 players that went on to win either a championship as a coach or as a player. There were 5 players. Out of those 5 players, which one were they? Give me the 5 players' name and what teams were they with. Put your answers right underneath this video, man, and you can have an opportunity to win a Walter Payton's 1985 Chicago Bears replica championship ring. Okay. Thank you guys so much for tuning in with us, man. Could you want to say anything to the people before we get up out of here?
Oh man, just like my host co-host always say, man, always comment, always talk to us, let us know anything that we're not picking up with players that you might see out there that we might need on the team or could benefit us the best. We're building a community here. We want to always hear from y'all. So man, just talk to us.
Yeah, most definitely, people. And we're going to touch on the draft coming up real soon. The draft is approaching very fast. We're going to talk about a couple of players that we could possibly get in the draft in each round. So that's coming real soon, man. We want to thank you guys for rocking with us, Chicago. Please like, comment, and subscribe to the video. Let us know how you guys think and what you feel about the video. And much love. As always, bear down.
Bear down.